Thank God. Sorry again, guys.
Oh,
Nah,
you
you're
are
all
I had
you're
to
good.
all good.
acquire the nominal beers.
Yeah, right.
Very
We
importantly.
we totally almost forgot to. It was like very last second. Like we had already gone to the store and we were almost home, and I was like, "Fuck, we didn't pick up beer." So we had to run to another store really quick. But yeah, we're chilling. We've
We
just
would
been
never forsake
shooting the
it.
Shooting the
shit.
shit.
Yo,
I've
Wow, don't
actually
say my
been
words. What
I've
the
actually
fuck?
been conducting my own interview.
I was
Right?
about to
Honestly,
say,
I was like, Anna's kind of low key, like laying out the questions right now.
yeah, thank y'all for your patience, and it's so good to see you again, Michael. Thanks for having
Hey,
us, for real.
great to see you as well. Really stoked on this one. Everything sounds super sick, so I'm really, interested to get kind of some deeper lore on Onion and all that fun stuff.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah.
It'll be sick.
Hell yeah. Well, my only question to the three of you, and I know you all already have them, is do you have an unopened beverage that you like to sit in the opening crack with?
Sure do.
Yes, you know it.
Hell yeah. So what I'll do here is I'll count us down. Then we'll crack these. I'll do the little intro, bring the three of you in, and we'll just have a good time.
Sweet.
Sounds
Sounds
great.
great.
All right. In three, two, one. Welcome to the Beers with Bands podcast with your host, Michael Torres. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Beers with Bands. Very stoked on this episode. I get to welcome back Mike from Antillion. And then I also get to add a couple new people to the long list of Beers with Bands friends with Anna and Matt making up Onion. How y'all doing?
Great. Thank you so much for having us.
So
Of
good.
course.
Oh yeah.
Very stoked on this episode, like I was kind of saying before. It's always fun to have people back on the show and also back in different projects than they were on previously. So, we get some more music out into this world that is, like we were kind of talking about before, is so vast, but also so small in the music scene. It's wild.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll tangent back into that since we had some good sound bites that we lost out on. But we'll see. For people that are unaware of Onion, y'all are kind of like this indie folk band based out of Chicago. Uh, Debut EP came out back in March called In the Ground, which we'll get into. But first of all, I think this is one of the first bands, and because I kind of want to get into like the kind of like some origin, but I think you guys are like one of the first bands that have been on that are I kind of put it in quotes on my notes here, like a family band, with how the three of you are tied together. So, kind of take me back to how the three of you decided to start this project, not how you guys came into contact, because obviously there's some lore there that involves parents and things that happen with parents. But why did the three of you decide to form Onion, or how did you decide to do it?
Yeah, I
Um,
feel like it was never supposed to be. That's for one. When we first started making music that became Onion, we were not like we're going to be in a band and play music. But we very much were like in need of just another like stop in the week to just like get creative. And it
mhm.
started out just like living room jams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Matt and I met in music school 10 plus years ago now. And I had kind of like fallen out of doing creative things. The art school had kind of driven the creativity out of me. And Mike is my brother. And so we've known each other his entire life.
Yes.
And so when he moved to Chicago, him and Matt already had a friendship that was bonded through music. I am still an appreciator of music. And so Michael kind of drove the idea that, like, hey, we can just sit down on Sunday morning and play music for a couple hours. Like, it doesn't have to be that deep. We can just jam. So we started with a couple of covers, but then it was just the boys playing new riffs and repeating them over and over and being like, this is the vibe I'm feeling. And them just providing a really like safe space for me to play a lot around with lyrics. And after about like 6 to 8 months, Mike was like, "You guys, this is a band. We have multiple original songs. This is actually just a band that's happening right now." So that's kind of the birth of Onion.
Yeah, I signed us up for our first show as a band, kind of without telling them. I was
He
just
Yeah.
was
like,
like, he was like, you guys think you'd be ready to play a show soon? And we were like, yeah, probably by like, I don't know, summer or fall. He's like, great, we have a show in 2 weeks. It's March
March
13th.
13th. And he was like, "But we're ready. Don't worry, we're ready." Um, and here we are with a whole EP later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, before music school, were you also kind of doing like band stuff prior to this, or is this kind of like your first step into doing a collaborative thing in this way?
This is definitely my first step doing a collaborative band. I went to theater school, so like being in a show, you are in an ensemble and you do have to work collaboratively in a certain aspect, but the material's already written for you and you just
Right.
have to like show up and learn it. And playing around with vulnerable material that is like things that have come out of us that are really like raw and beautiful has been just really a privilege to be a part of, because I don't think it's normal that like every time you sit down, you like come out with a song at the end of a couple hours. And that was our experience for like the first several months that we like were jamming, which is just really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it felt cosmic in a lot of ways looking back on it right now. Like the way that this band came to be was literally like it was just the alchemical mixture of us in a room, and it just like without any of us trying to, it produced things. It was really cool.
yeah. And one of the reasons that I feel like one of the things that led us around to the name Onion was how often we would try and describe what was happening in our songwriting or like what kind of music we were making. We're like, I don't know, man. It's just like really like organic and like layered and like sad and like, kind of emotional. Um, and
And
like you
I
can
was
only
like,
say
"Oh, the
organic and layered
puns."
just so many times
Yeah.
until it comes to mind. Um, but yeah, I mean, truly, what was so nice about this is like we were all doing something new. Like, even though I'd been in bands before, I had never written guitar parts. Like, I was a bass player and then I was a singer. I'd never like written rhythm guitar and certainly never done any lead guitar, which we're doing a little bit of now. Um, and it's like the fact that it was the three of us made it so easy for us all to uh just do things that we hadn't done before without fear, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. And that's, like Mike was saying, like I play mandolin and guitar in this outfit, and like I got a mandolin as a gift from my mom because she knows I like weird musical instruments. And I was like, this mandolin's been sitting around. I should actually play with it. And we were just jamming with it, and next thing you know, I actually played a few things to Mike's chords that sound decent. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm playing the mandolin now. And like consistently, that's some of the most like I don't know, just the feedback that I get most often from people at shows is I've never ever seen somebody play a mandolin or an electric mandolin, no less. Never seen somebody put like delay and insane like granular shit on a mandolin. Like you make such an interesting, unique sound I've never heard before. And that just like again, I never ever in the plans just kind of happened that I fell into an instrument and into this group of people. And to what Mike was saying also, like it is, and Anna, both of you really touched on this. Like, it's so fortunate that like the three of us are number one musically trained in some aspect. We all like have a lot of experience and slash or a degree of some sort in making music, and number two, we're both really like open-minded and we're all really open-minded, and we don't really care like if somebody makes a mistake or if somebody tries something and it falls.
Hmm.
Like it's if you get into a room with a bunch of people and you're like, "Oh, I know you're good musicians." Immediately your walls are up and you're like, "I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to like make it seem like I don't know the scales or like I don't understand what's going on here. Like I just want to make like be good around you guys. And like that was never a thought. It was just like, let's just try stuff. Let's just
Hmm.
make stuff happen. And that I think is really one of the biggest reasons it works.
Hmm.
I think also just having the familiarity with each other already, because if
Yeah.
this would have been like, Mike saying like, "Hey, let's do this new project. I know this guy named Matt. Anna, will you sing on this?" And like you guys didn't really know each other. Like
Yeah.
that's really where like those hesitations come in, and like it really in those moments can make or break a band when they're trying to get together. If, especially if you've heard of them and you're like, "Oh, I know Matt can like rip on a mandolin,
Yeah.
and he's gonna come in and do this," but it's like if he's going to do that super well and knock it out of the park, like, am I going to be competent enough to like follow it up? But since you guys have known each other for so long, I think that adds another like spice to this whole
Yeah.
dynamic.
Absolutely. I would also say that something that I'm just delighted by every time we do sit down and like share music and make music together is the things we decide to listen to in our free time are so vastly different. And so, all of our day to day inspirations come from a different genre of music than the one that we're like really making together because we have our loose influences like when we started our band, but I would say that we've drifted a bit from them in the music we're making now because we're just distinctly ourselves. Like not in a like shitty conceited way, but just in a we're three people just figuring it out and this is like a weird fun genre non-existent time when like all music is kind of existing in this nebulous place. So we're just ready
Yeah.
to slot on in.
We're all, and that's the thing, it's like we're all literally just doing like what we can because it's like these are like the simple chord shapes that I can play,
Exactly.
and like this is like the way that Matt has figured out how to wrangle a mandolin from only being a guitar player and not a mandolin
Exactly.
player at
And a
all.
self-taught guitar player at that. So like I play it like I taught myself how to play guitar, which is obviously not how you're supposed to quote unquote play a mandolin. And in that respect, I have a hard time even ascribing us to the word folk because I feel like people have an expectation when they hear folk. They're like, I'm gonna hear like the bluegrass sound and these like specific scales and these rhythmic things that you expect. And like, we're really not doing any of that. Like the closest thing that we do to folk music is the fact that I'm holding a mandolin and all three of us sing at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. But that's frankly enough that I guess it kind of counts in whatever way genres matter.
Yeah.
It counts until like folk, like the folk subreddit on Reddit like freaks out. Then you're like, ah, okay,
Yeah.
we'll rethink this.
I'm sorry, we're Midwest emo with the mandolin, and then all of the punks come running out with
Yeah.
their pitchforks.
Exactly. Right. Well, it's we've the riffs that we've been sharing more recently have been trending closer to like a slightly harder sound,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Just a little more rock and roll.
Right. And I wouldn't call it hard. It's just a little,
Yeah.
more, yeah,
About as
more
hard as
upbeat,
Dashboard Confessional.
like Paramore, yeah.
Yeah.
But like going off that point too, like that's the bands that don't specifically listen to the genre that they're making always seem to like come out with a little bit better edge to themselves. Like
Mhm.
if you get like a pop punk band and they have a drummer that's a hardcore kid and he's trying to do a little double bass in there or just like doing his thing, it's that just takes that whole band to another level. Sometimes you'll see it too with like a metal guitarist going into like an emo band and they're so used to listening to Halen or something like that, and like they're just shredding for no reason on like an emo song. It's like, what the fuck is this? But
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's those moments that get like so sonically interesting that if you weren't paying attention before, even for a second, you're paying attention now,
Oh
just
yeah,
because your ear catches something different.
Yeah, that's something I do really enjoy. It's like there's when you try to use an umbrella word like emo, especially in the year of our Lord 2026. Like there's no good way to do it without a bunch of qualifiers ahead of things. But what I do love is like, we are definitely existing in that space and there is absolutely nobody like us right now, which I really enjoy. It's
Mm.
like it's precisely that. It's like, like you were just mentioning, it's when you bring the disparate like tastes together that the more interesting things happen. And like to one degree, it's like as long as you have people who have any kind of taste and inspiration and like, influence, you we couldn't make music that's not Onion. You know what I mean? Like a lot of bands get caught up to like, is this going to be like us? Is this going to sound like us? And I'm like, you don't know it, man, but you make so many choices like that are like unconscious in the way you make music. You could only make like it could only be you,
Yeah.
even trying to rip people off, it doesn't really work.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Now,
real.
to bounce off something that was said earlier, obviously you guys kind of were practicing together for 6 to 8 months. Had that first show at Reed's Local. I did my research. Like, obviously that was kind of sprung on the two of you from Mike about
Yeah.
that show. But how did it feel after playing that show? Like, did it feel at least cathartic? Like, okay, we do got this.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Like it was one of those things where after that first show, the resounding feeling was just what were we waiting for? And I think that we also kind of had like a cosmic experience where truly all the stars aligned for that particular show because we had really great bands on the bill with us that were just like pretty close to in our genre and also just effusively friendly and supportive. And also, we're able to bring a crowd when, like, us as a baby band with our first debut show, like, we brought our very closest friends, but we didn't really have any clout beyond that. And we still got to perform to, like, a pretty full bar. And that was just, like, amazing and receptive. And strangers came up to us and were moved by our music. And that I think was just like a springboard of like, oh, we don't have to be the best. Like we don't have to like quit our day jobs right away and like hit the road, but like this is something that is worthwhile. And like every time we've done a show, it's just kind of like reinforced that over and over again because the community, like it just comes back to the community again and again of like people showing up for each other. And I love it.
Right. Yeah, we've always met cool people and just fostered these incredible relationships even further. But yeah, after that first show, the biggest thing that stood out to me was one of our friends from college in Kent, who has also moved to Chicago, came up to me afterwards and was like, Matt, I had so much fun watching you play the mandolin. And like you just looked like you were having the time of your fucking life up there. And like that was all I needed. Like it sold me on the whole show. Like you guys, I was in. And I was like, oh, like what an amazing piece of feedback. First of all, like that just feels so cool to hear from somebody, but also like I kind of agreed afterwards. I was like, you're right. Like I was having so much fun. Like this is yeah, it really worked. And I definitely went in. I was very nervous. I was anxious as hell before our first show. Like I was in and out of the bathroom at least 3 times within the 15 minutes before we played, you know. And
It was
it ended up
nerve-wracking.
yeah, it ended up going so well though. Like what better than I anticipated. And
Yeah.
obviously set the stage. Almost every show goes better than I anticipate, which maybe says something about my mindset more than anything else.
But that was really it though. It's like, we had this feeling of, are we as prepared as we need to be? I was also super nervous and I was
Oh,
flubbing some of the guitar
we were
stuff, but like
not without mistakes.
but we
Trust me.
we
Yeah.
all, none of the songs like fell apart completely. And
Yeah.
God, I've seen it on stage and bands
Right.
have gone on to finish their sets fine. But like even the fact that we were worried and like we weren't perfect, but like just and like we aren't doing anything complicated either. But just, you know, the fact that what we were doing was unique and like people were feeling it. It's like we got so much incredible feedback right away.
Mhm.
And that was just like, you know, it just really brings it back to like, yeah, like Anna said, it's like, what are we waiting for? And like that goes for like really anyone. It's like,
Hmm.
you know, you really need so much less than you think you do to just get out there and share it with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for the first year that we played music, we had not nothing to show for it, but it was like we have nothing to plug. If you're at the show, this is it. You're welcome.
Right.
And now we're like a year and some change in, and we have an EP that we can plug and be like, you can check us out on your streaming platforms. You can buy our shit on Bandcamp. We're workshopping merch that will be in your hands eventually.
Right.
Right now, our merch is a bag of onions that we give out for free. So show up and you might get an onion.
I was just gonna ask if there was onions involved, and I'd love that there still is. Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
We'll have to
absolutely.
send you the pictures for real.
Oh
Well, I saw
yeah.
the one on Instagram where it says like for your consideration.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
On it, and talks about like the album date, like
Yeah.
which
That was
as-
the marketing at that last show.
yeah.
My friend still has that very onion in his freezer. He was like, I have to keep the merch.
Oh my God, that's dedication.
Like
Hell yeah.
saving your snowball till June.
You
Oh,
know.
yeah.
That's so funny.
Uh,
Uh,
sorry, I had a thought, lost it. That's totally fine. That happens on this podcast. That's why we drink beer. It just happens.
Hell
Just
yeah.
flow with it.
Time for another
amen.
sip.
Yeah.
What's everyone got tonight?
Oh, good question. Off Color Brewing,
Oh,
Apex
dude,
Predator.
that one's very tasty.
It's a good one.
I'm sipping on Prairie Artisan Ale's Rainbow Sherbet Sour.
That sounds
Does-
delicious.
It does indeed taste like rainbow sherbet.
I've got a simple Tecate here.
Nice. My pre-show beer was good old Modelo because you can't
Hell
go
yeah.
wrong. And then got the good old PBR
Yeah.
There you
for
go.
the episode.
All the classics tonight.
Yeah.
I was telling my mom earlier before this, I was like, I could drink like 2 tall boys of real beer, or I could get like 6 PBRs for this podcast. It's kind of a same difference. I'll just pee more if I drink a PBR.
Yeah,
Oh,
worst
it's so
case scenario,
good.
I finished these 2 tall boys and I have a fridge full of ham still. So
Ooh.
Nice.
Blast.
Wow, hams. Hams and PBR feels like you're in Chicago with us.
Absolutely.
I think all I would need is like old styles, and then I'd be like set.
Right.
You'd be all set. You could have the handshake, the high five, and the backflip.
Okay, so now I gotta know what the high five and the backflip is. 'Cause I know what the handshake is. That's old style and a shot of Malort.
Yes. No,
But
it's
what are
just
the good
it,
ones?
just a clever joke. But I would
Okay.
say let's just say let's go on this thought experiment together. So the high five, maybe that would be a
It's got a
joint.
slap.
No, it's got to be a joint and a hams
Ah, yes. The
Because
high
it's-
five.
because
You're
it's
smart.
legal in Chicago.
Yeah,
Wow.
So smart.
That's so
That's
a
incredible.
good one.
beautiful. Oh my
And
God.
then a backflip, I don't know, PBR.
And a line of
And
Coke.
oh no, we're not going to do
No.
a backflip. I'm not a backflipper. I take it back. I take it back.
Oh man.
That's a good
Anyway,
one.
you heard it here first.
Yeah, trademark those.
For real.
Catch me on Tumblr.
Let's do it.
So we make it through the first show, and then I think you guys released the first single later that year in August, "Breathing."
Our bedroom demo.
First
Yeah.
time, obviously, Mike's recorded other things. I think Matt, you have as well. Like first time putting Onion though out into the airwaves for people to actually listen to, besides just at a show. How did it feel to finally get that at least first step into that world? I guess.
Yeah. Well, for the record, I think that was the first time I ever released music on like a streaming platform.
You have your private Bandcamp.
Yeah, like I also have a SoundCloud with like a couple like bedroom things on it that I'm sure 5 people have listened to, but it's the first time I've really considered like a serious release, yeah. And it ooh, that was so much fun, first of all.
Mhm.
That was a blast to do it.
The
I don't
very
even.
first, I was just gonna jump in real quick. The very first one you're talking about from August, I believe that, yeah, that was the bedroom recording. That was like the
Hmm.
non-EP version. And that was another one of those things where we were just like, we were sitting on the song and I was like, guys, we just gotta release it. We have interfaces and microphones and guitar cables. Like, how hard can it be, you know? And we put it together in I think like 2 afternoons.
Yep, 2 afternoons and then a little bit of back end work from you and
Yeah.
I, wherever we kind of felt like it. But
Yeah. I take no credit for any of that. I just sat, sang my little songs, and looked pretty. Uh, Matt and Mike would be like, Anna, how do you think it sounds? Do you have any input? And I was like, two thumbs up. That's my input. You guys are doing great, sweetie. Anyone want a
mm,
drink?
Yeah. But I mean, the eventual EP recordings that we did were an awesome, incredible process too.
Hmm.
And the EP version of Breathing is also beautiful and wonderful, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
richness to it. But there's a lot of charm in the bedroom demo as well.
Yeah.
I love that it's still out there on its own.
mhm.
I
I
like
love,
that's something that I wish more bands would do again is like I miss listening to demos. Like I get that, some demos can literally sound like they're made in a basement. They're all super shitty, but there's some
mhm.
demos that I've listened to that sound like have a really good like just harshness quality that like adds to
Yeah.
the song, and then they kind of re-record it for like the actual EP or album, and it's like, oh man, that took away a little bit of like
Yeah.
the influence or like the cred that it had, and it's like, I wish I could still just get that other version.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's definitely a moment in that first breathing demo from the bedroom where I think there was like a moment where Mike missed a chord or something and he goes, shit, I fucked that up. And we ended up just like blending that like voice clip down, like putting it in the background and then adding like a reverb to it, and it's still in the background of that demo version, and it cracks me up every single time because you
Yeah.
don't really hear it unless you're looking for it, but when you look for it, it's just like amazing. And I don't know, like to what you said, Michael, it just makes it more human again because you
Mhm.
haven't like scrubbed out all of the imperfections. Like you leave the stuff that makes it organic and real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I don't know if you have a
non
thought there, man.
yeah, I mean, I do. It has nothing to do with what you just said, but I
That's
really
okay.
like
It's
Go
totally
off
that.
fine.
anyway.
I just
Go
love
off,
that both of
King.
you guys have your last names on your Zoom.
Just in case you didn't
Just
know
in
we were
case you didn't know they're
siblings.
brother and sister. Yeah.
I mean, listen, the dynamic is very important when you like go and introduce yourself as a band and you're like, two of us are in love and two of us are related. Figure it out. And if you're being honest, three of us are in love and two
Because
of us.
me and Matt are in love.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, even to speak to that, it's like we tried to like kind of preserve or like reinsert some of that humanity and like imperfectness
Mhm.
to the EP as we recorded it, both in the
Yep.
form of like the voice memos and sort of like soundscapes that are present at the start and end of a couple of them, but also even like, the end of Start Again. There's like a little, extra rolling that happened after the end, and like someone literally outside the vocal booth, you can just hear them go like, perfect. It's probably our drummer Ryan, just by this
Mm-hmm.
by the timbre of the
Yeah.
voice. And we were like, gotta keep it in. And
Yeah.
so it's
They were
just
like,
like the
we could
last
clip
little
that.
bit
And I
there.
was like, no,
No.
that's the best part.
Yeah. So I love
It's
that stuff.
perfect.
Oh my
Mhm.
God. Even and like during the real actual vocal tracking that was used for Better Now, the vocal booth is like a construction inside of another like one room like studio space. And so because it's such a quiet song and I'm singing so gingerly, like you can hear them outside conversing like through the like soundproofed wall, and it lends this incredible quality of like, you know you're like sitting in the bedroom alone with your feelings while the party happens in the living
Yeah.
room. It's like it's just perfect, and it was just a happy accident, and
Yeah.
it's an imperfection that elevated it so much, and that's
Right.
exactly the kind of thing that we're trying
Yeah.
to keep there.
That's what we're all about. There was also a couple songs on the EP where we purposefully it gave feedback to our producers and mixers that we wanted them to scale back some of the like vocal like pitch correction because we really like the in between of like our some of our vocal harmonies, they'll have a little bit of
We
like
do have a
a
slide. That's where
slide, yeah.
I will accept our folk background is we do lean into like a nice vocal slide when we're harmonizing.
Yeah. There's a little bit in there. But yeah, I mean, we're a deeply imperfect band, so why would the record reflect anything otherwise?
Amen to that.
But I mean, I know I said it earlier, but like, yeah, in the ground is a great listen throughout. And then kind of Mike to kind of bounce off your point about being able to hear the conversation kind of in the background during that vocal take. I feel like you guys kind of took it a step further and obviously amplified it when we get to Sparks, slash voice memo, because that one, we have this whole conversation going on in the background, like at what I assume is like a little party get together type thing while it's happening, and like that's like when the moment that you explained of like you sitting there while everyone else is doing something, like that's it you take it and just amplify it with that song, because like that's literally what it feels like. It's like, okay, I'm gonna sit over here while they figure out whatever the fuck's going on over there, whether I want to be here or not. I'm just gonna just kind of be here. Like it reminded me of a lot of college parties that I went to that I was like, I don't know why the fuck I'm here,
Right.
in a good way. But
Yeah. No, it's perfect.
No, I'm so happy because like not that I was nervous to put it on, but because I was insistent that we add that. I was like, you guys, it might not make sense, but I really think that this needs to be on as our final song because it genuinely was a New Year's Eve party that Matt just had a voice memo rolling because they were doing a cover of Sparks by Coldplay. And then they were riffing on it. And then listening back to it, I was like, you know, the music is beautiful and melancholy and perfect. But I just think that the juxtaposition of it playing behind me yapping my fucking drunk ass off was just perfect. It was just perfect.
Yeah, well, and you're saying like it goes in and out of intelligibility, and when you do come in, you're saying these beautiful, esoteric, vague things where
I
you're
think
just
I was like gassing up one of our friends. I was like,
Yeah.
they're just the most exceptional, beautiful person. And life is hard sometimes, but like that
Right.
doesn't make you any less beautiful.
Yeah.
exactly.
Someone had gotten like broken up with, and you were like, but listen, they're just like figuring them out, and like it's all, and like the way that it like
They have
that
to live with
rant,
that. Yeah.
the way that rant like genuinely does reflect the themes of the EP and of Sparks, the song we're covering in the background. And just the fact, even as well, like, the main singing you're hearing in that voice memo is one of our friends, Brent, who was just at that party. Because like I'm kind of trying to sing, but I'm mostly preoccupied with like trying to get the guitar part right. And just like the fact that it was something spontaneous and organic and friendship based, and that I just started strumming and he's like, oh, I know that song. It's like, can I sing? Like that's what Onion is. Like
Yeah, you forgot a layer.
Onion
Yeah.
became because of that, just like friends in a room deciding to just connect over music. And so the fact that the kind of bonus track of the EP captures like just a genuine real-time candid moment of that happening.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that Anna even remembered it to put it in, because it
Yeah.
wouldn't be right without it.
Yeah. And it's also me fucking around on an instrument I have no reason to be playing.
It's so good, dude. It's a
Picking-
stylophone.
Yeah. Also a gift
We
from my mom.
faded out right before Matt like loses
Loses
the
the
key.
thread.
And the
Yeah.
and the
It's a very
awesome
intentional
soloing he's
fade out.
doing, the awesome soloing he's doing becomes more avant-garde. But dude, it's kind of incredible that we got like that deep into the song and you were just still like right on.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
Hey man, it's all,
He's got the
you
instincts.
can play the pentatonic scale on anything with keys once you know what it looks like,
This
Yeah.
girl has taken 2 years of music theory and still doesn't know what it looks like. So you have a skill, my sir.
Yeah, man, it's all math. That's the only reason it works. I was like a whiz math kid when I was a little kid, and so music theory just occupied the same space in my head, and I'm there with that shit. I'm not there with like a lot of the lyrical and like bringing it all together shit that you guys add.
That's why we're a band.
No, I know. I'm so grateful because I would not function very well as a solo unit. And I mean, every single time we add another layer, it becomes better. And
Yeah, I'm
it's
sad Ryan's
funny.
not here in person, but he adds such a layer when the drums
Yeah,
come in.
and you were mentioning like a pop band with like a hardcore drummer playing, and like not that Ryan is a hardcore drummer necessarily, but like he definitely adds like a little bit more spunk and tenacity to our music that is frankly like welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, Onion has a tendency, like we're just a pocket
We're a
meandering
weed
band.
smoking
We
band.
smoke, yeah,
That's what we
exactly.
are.
We get really high and we groove and it kind of trends a little slow, but that's fine. But Ryan is just like
He's like, I'm here and I have
one.
drums and a beat and we're going.
Yes, I mean like one just an absolute ball of energy, but like in a very like golden retriever way. And so it's great because like he'll just fire something up and suddenly we're playing rock and roll. And like
Mhm.
it's more Onion than it's ever been because of
Yeah.
that,
Mhm,
you know? And it's oh my God, his contribution to the record, it would have sounded nothing like it does if not for him.
mhm.
And he also, as I don't know if this was pre-rolling or not, but as Michael you referenced before, when we were talking about just like being comfortable with each other and stuff, Ryan is the most welcoming man in the world. He at for a moment in time was frankly the center of the Chicago DIY scene that we know of. His house housed many in touring bands. He had shows in his basement and his garage. We had an insane All-American Reject show in his backyard at one point where we were all like the staff of his house. And, like he is the most gregarious, welcoming man, and he's also like one of our best friends. And sadly for us, he had to move to Louisville. And his family is, putting up uh their posts there and building the DIY scene in Louisville as we speak. But yeah, that man, it just adds to the alchemical beauty of Onion with just being so like open and friendly.
Yeah.
Now this just means I think you have an out of town show to play in Louisville at some point.
Yes.
Literally that. We're going
Soon.
we got a mini tour we have to plan.
Genuinely. And sooner than later, because now that the EP's out, it's booking
Time.
time for
Yeah.
real.
Now I know it's still relatively early in this EP cycle, but first single, whether it was the bedroom version or not, like that still came out, August 2024. The EP came out March 2026. I know we factor in time for recording and stuff like that, but like, are we going to be waiting another 2 years for another Onion release?
Not if we can help it. I would say uh the powers that be conspire against us because employment is so spotty in the greater world that like our best like Matt and I's best chance at employment is like a total wacko shift that is the complete opposite of normal polite society. And Anna is a boss babe who has an awesome 9 to 5 corporate job.
Yeah.
Mm.
And frankly, the only reason we could even afford to record the first EP at all.
I appreciate you for saying that.
Awesome was also an insane word to use for any corporate job. And I
Right, right,
appreciate
right.
how well you took that,
Hey, that's
because
okay.
they put her through hell. But all that notwithstanding, like one of the things on my docket, like literally for this summer, is like I'm trying to get the band back together because also part of it was I used to live like 10 minutes away from them and then I moved away because rent was getting too pricey up there. So I'm just in a different part of the city, but like, 40 minutes is a lot harder to work than 10 minutes. So we're figuring out how to get that like regular time in together again.
Mhm.
But I have no
Because
doubt that
work's
you're going to
still
get
cooking.
more. I was going to say, I have no doubt that more Onion will be your way soon, though, because like still every time we get together, I mean, like
Yeah.
we just write simple music and so it just comes out, which
Hmm.
is a blessing. We're
Yeah.
very
Right.
lucky to
We
have
write
that.
simple music and we have a lot of feelings, so
Yeah.
it just kind of flows.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about that too is like, there's a lot of stuff that's pretty half baked. And if we sat down and like really dug into it a little more, there might be something there. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. So I feel like this is just the beginning.
But whatever comes next, it's definitely going to be some of it's going to be higher gain, some of it's going to be slower, soaked in delay and reverb
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
we've just
these boys
gotten too
have
many new
pedals
toys.
now.
We got a lot of new toys and we're
Yo, we're
very
gonna
excited
be
about them.
right. Not just pedals, even. You've got a bunch of cool shit on your
Plugins,
computer right
yeah.
now. Yeah, like we're. I just went over the other morning before Mike's shift, and we just hung out. And then during his shift, while he started working, I just noodled on the plugins that he had, like his guitar plugged into on his laptop already. And yeah, I mean, it's
Some of the atmospheric stuff is just so beautiful and like the things we made are very down to earth. And so I think some of the Onion songs are going to be lifting off soon. You know, we're going to get
Hmm.
properly spacey.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, when we play live, I think some of the pedals that we use give it a little spacier, ethereal vibe than necessarily what is on the record.
That is true. That is true. It's altogether a little bit more of a it's a little bit more of a slow motion experience. Just in literally just the
Hmm.
feeling.
Hmm.
And the version that we recorded on the album, we recorded like last July, so July 2025. And so we've been sitting with the songs for a little bit longer and have continued to play with harmonies, and the boys have learned more about like plugins and pedals. So it's just, so the songs don't get boring for us. We've just been continuing to kind of play with them a little bit. And so that's kind of just a little bonus. Like the version that's on the record is
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
but then when you get to see us live, you're like, ooh, bonus track.
I know. I played a spicy little version of a riff during one of our most recent rehearsals, which was low-key a while ago, but the last time that we rehearsed, I like played a little spicier version of a mandolin riff, and across the room, Mike just fucking laughed out. It really brought me joy. But that's what it's all about, man. You got to keep having fun.
Yeah.
And that's
Um,
genuinely it. It's like you don't really understand your songs until you finish writing them. And your songs continue to get better
Mhm.
after you've put them down, almost invariably.
it's kind of funny that you say that because like I always say this when I'm like sitting down with someone is like you listen to a song and it takes you about 5 6 times to make your mind get through the instrumentals and like fully break down or try to break down the lyrics or try and understand the lyrics. But in the same aspect, a band will have that song, or like you guys said, like it was recorded in July 2025, but you guys kept growing with that song and tweaking it to make it feel more yourselves as it's growing. So like it's almost crazy in the same aspect that it's taking the listener so many times to try and get through it, to understand it. You guys are still nurturing it and making it grow from like even the initial starting point that we're listening to.
Hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. I don't know if this will resonate with anyone listening, but I am a person who has a really hard time processing lyrics when I listen to music. And so I have that experience with our music while we're playing it today sometimes, where I'm like, oh my God, the lyrics are just hitting me. We've been playing this for 18 months or shit. Like it's crazy, but like it's so yeah, it's real. I could spend so much time with a song before I hear the lyrics sometimes. It's absolutely unreal.
It's wild when
Oh,
it like when that flip switch flips and you're like, oh shit, that person was going through something.
Yeah.
Did not realize that.
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah, that's so real. And it's like it's it's its own little layer of things that is so dynamic because some people are lyrics people and it's like they just gotta know and it's like they choose what they identify with based on the lyrics. And some people, it's like it's just. I think there was a video that we watched, like it was it Charlie Puth who has like audio processing disorder as well with like words or music, and it's like yeah, he's like I just hear lyrics as meat instruments, like the voice is a meat instrument, you know, and it's like he gets
Yeah.
the words later, and like I just think it really is lovely. It's like there's just so much to discover about it. And everyone comes to different parts of the songs first, which I also think is just really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I had that experience. It was a silly anecdote, but in college, I had a roommate, Mike Lotta, and we would regularly just blast music way too loud on this beautiful sound system he had in our living room of the apartment. And there was one time we were listening to the song "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald," and it was probably, I don't know, like I don't know how many times we had listened to that song together, even let
Was
alone
it
apart.
29 times?
Shut up. But I like there's a point in time in like the fourth verse maybe where like a really high pitched like synth arpeggio comes in. She's like and it's I just pointed out to him, I was like, man, I fucking love this synth so much. This is one of my favorite parts of the song is when this thing pops in. And he was like, bro, you're tingling my brain right now because I've never noticed it like consciously, and now that I hear it, it sounds so much better. Like, oh, like it's just such a cool experience. Like, yeah, to do that in real time and see how differently we process that shit is so cool.
There was something I was listening to recently, uh, and to kind of bounce off Matt, your point of like you're listening to songs 18 months later of your own songs and clicking. There's a song I listened to recently that I want to say it was like an emo song from like at least mid 2010s, and there was something that got said in the song that I've sang along to on most drives to work and stuff like that, and it just clicked, and I was like, oh, okay, like I understand that now, and I'm like I've listened to this song for way too long in my life to just now understand what just happened.
Mm.
And it's just wild that like we're still continuing to do that on everything, no matter how many times we get with it, because like it's almost like a I feel like muscle memory is like not the right term, but like that's what I'm going to use in this. We're like we'll sing along to songs without actually realizing what is being
Yeah.
said or like just inputting it. It's just wild how that works.
And maybe that's part of the magic of what a song is as well, is it's got a message that can be replayed a bunch of times and you might enjoy it until you actually hear it, you know, rather than, a lot of other
Hmm.
art forms, you're only going to get it a few times
Yeah.
ever. You might look at a beautiful painting like 10 times in your life if you're lucky, if you really love that painting and you love that museum and you have like a membership or whatever,
Yeah.
like songs, yeah, the way that you get that many opportunities to take it in and have permutations to run and have your brain kind of spin on that shit,
Yeah.
it's special.
Just like how it can mean different things to you in different parts of your life.
And different people.
Yeah, and like how I heard somebody talking about this the other day, and I don't remember who it was, but they were like, "Yeah, when you release a song, it's not really yours anymore. Like the version of it that was yours existed in the studio when you were working on it, or like when it's you're performing it live, it's still yours. But like when it's being consumed by anybody else, it's theirs. Like they're gonna take it and ascribe to it whatever they want to, and that like really really resonated with me because I don't know, I'm obsessed with the artist Sufjan Stevens, and like he just writes like the most beautiful music and soundscapes, and then you listen to the lyrics and they're like so soul crushingly sad, and I like thoughts up to him like multiple times a month where I'm like, I hope he's having a good day today because that man has lived such a tragic life. He deserves a great day.
Oh,
Is there any songs of the current uh, EP discography, like Onion discography? I don't know why I was trying to mix those words. That you because I'm trying to bounce off this point of like it's now the listener's song. Is there one of these songs that you feel like you'd be more surprised is someone has claimed as like quote unquote their own from the CP?
Yeah. I heard from Anna's mom that multiple of her friends in her age group have reached out to her and said that the one song that I sing lead on, Start Again, is their favorite song on the EP and that they've listened to it over and over again. And I mean, it's a quick song. Like it's and it's frankly like one of the least produced songs. It's just
Hmm.
guitar and our voices and really, really light drums, and that's it. Um, and I was shocked. I frankly I think of that song as an interlude, you know, like it's space in between the previous one and the next one, and to get that feedback blew my mind, and I never anticipated it.
That's something that's just so cool about getting to share this stuff though. Is like those things really do come up, you know. It's like the songs that feel the most personal can sometimes and like the most like this is just for me like I don't know like you know if anyone else enjoys it it'll be because of the vibe but like and then someone like really finds their own connection in it it's great and like truly that is the best compliment that you can get is just like anyone coming up to you and being like that one means something to me like it evokes something to me because ultimately like we are we are in this community and people support each other's friends and like there is a level of like I appreciate a lot of music just with a very open mind and heart because I know the people who have made it but like and that's not to say that like it's not there's not also a lot of really fantastic music in that realm but like it's another thing even just to hear like one of your own friends in the scene just be like yo that song actually like you know helped me with some stuff or like I connected to that or like that reminded me of this situation in my life and it's like nice to have like words or lyrics for that now and that's just such a privilege like
Mhm.
when it leaves your control I feel like is kind of the most gratifying thing
Mhm.
very paradoxically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
We've also been, you know, kind of joking. Obviously, the name of the band is Onion. We've
Hmm.
been talking about these different layers that kind of happen. Is there, in the layers that make up Onion, is there a specific layer that you appreciate a little bit more than the rest?
For
Bro.
me,
Ryan, like I
yeah, no, like
Yeah.
I mean,
Ryan for
just for
sure.
me. That's my answer, but you go ahead, please.
I was gonna say when we hit those sweet, sick harmonies and they lock in, it just feels special. Like, and obviously, like I adore our like original music because it is so personal and it is intrinsically us. But like our covers and the way that we adapt them and cultivate them and make them into these like juicy, harmonious
Yeah.
things. Like, and I think once again, this is like sibling privilege and the fact that Matt and I have sung together in music school for over a decade. But like, we sound good when we sing together. So when we're singing together in harmony, it just like
Mhm.
locks in and it gives me chills. Like, it's that to me
Yeah.
is my favorite layer.
I do agree. Like the harmonies are special, and the way that we cover songs is special. I also agree.
Mhm.
The three-part harmony because we adapt it, we write it ourselves. Like it comes kind of naturally, you know. And a part of that, like I was like a chorister in college. I was like very big in the choir scene throughout college for 5+ years. So like a big part of that is like naturally like inferring harmonies. A big part of that is also blending voices. So like between the two of you being siblings, which just like has like a real impact, like your voices are just gonna be kind of similar and have like share a similar like resonant space and stuff. Like, and then the fact that I'm like really used to blending, like I feel like we do create a really unique sound, and yeah, I agree with that. I think the harmonies, I don't know if they're my favorite layer. It's really hard to pick a favorite, to be honest. I mean, just to be different and offer a different layer, I think my favorite layer is like playing electric mandolin through bullshit pedals and making it sound like nonsense.
Dude, seriously, I think that for a lot of the people that see us, like you are you are the bait on the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like in such a real way. It's like they see us pull out the mandolin and they're like, "What?
What is
What's
What's
that?
happening?
going on?"
I'm like, we don't onion. We don't suck, and there's a mandolin.
Especially because we kind of spring it on people. We do the first song with two guitars, and then we break out a mandolin for basically almost the whole rest of the set.
Mm.
And yeah, it just the kind of diving that Matt and I have done to try and like how do we make this electric mandolin work like a guitar? Like we hunted down like maybe the only mandolin player with a like genuine like two-row pedal board so on YouTube so that we could just like be like, what compressor do you use for a mandolin? You know?
Right.
Um, but I mean, genuinely, it brings this incredible just range to the music and this and I think and like you know the harmonies might be the most folk thing about us. Like the way that the mandolin helps just cut through the texture because one of the things that we do lack in Onion is like a bass player when I'm feeling like when I'm feeling ambitious. I use like a doubling pedal that just kind of like singles out the lowest note of my chord and just reproduces that out through another cable into a bass amp. um, and on the EP, one of our engineers, Bren, did a fantastic job just writing bass lines and just
Yeah.
absolutely magnificent, transformed the EP in such a good way.
Love
But
him. He
like,
has an open invitation to play with us whenever he wants.
yes, he's almost exercised it too. Um, but yeah, and just the I think the thing the mandolin does so well is like because I'm kind of trying to play very like grounded low things on guitar, whether or not we've got the bass amp or a bass player involved, the fact that the mandolin just like soars so well in that like trebly range over all three of our voices, it's just so unique and
Yep.
it feels great.
Yeah. It almost doesn't need bass. Like bass amplifies it, drums amplify it. But we started out as three of us. Our first show was three of us. There was no bass or drums. You know, it was still fun and it still sounded good. We still got great feedback. And like that's one of my favorite things about Onion. It's got a lot of range. Like we can play a packed bar and crank it up. We can go into a coffee shop and unplug.
Mhm.
And like I've got a cajon in the closet behind me right now. Like we could literally like go full like neo soul vibe if we wanted.
Yeah.
Now,
But and at the same
just
time, one of
I don't know what a
Matt's
cajon is.
It's a
Oh, it's like
box
the
drum.
box you sit
Okay.
on. Yeah.
it's got like snare, I think it has like snare
There's
springs
some
like pulled
snares in the
across it.
front. Yeah.
But dude, and I mean, I'm telling you, like one of Matt's good friends is in a hardcore band, like like a very heavy band, and she's like, "Yo," or they're like, "Yo, we gotta get an Onion Valacia show," like, and I'm
Right.
like, you know what, man, Onion can be anywhere because
Day and night.
we're just genuinely. I think part of it is that the fact that the three of us are so comfortable, like we just end up having such a great time on stage that we kind of just let ourselves in anywhere. It's like
Yeah.
there's not really a bill that fits Onion
Listen,
anyways.
we've rocked a Thursday night 11:30 Montrose Saloon. Like with our
Yeah,
slow sad
seriously.
songs where I'm like, "Hey guys, we're going to wind down the night with a little bit of sad.
But we
Stay
just,
awake."
and people have just been open-minded and
Yeah.
receptive despite the fact that we just rolled in there and we're like, we're gonna change the vibe.
Yeah. Uh,
Yes.
uh, I have a couple other questions, but I think I want to get to them in a little bit. So I want to make sure that I know we've kind of bounced around between, Onion, In the Ground, and everything else. But is there anything that I might have missed between Onion and In the Ground that you want the people to know about?
I don't know. You guys answer. I have to pee so bad.
Even though he didn't go for the 6 PBRs, they still caught him.
Still went for the 2 tall boys.
I'm trying to think. I guess one of the biggest things is like, if you go looking for us, you won't find our music on Spotify. We're not a big enough band that, the accessibility of people to be able to stream us is going to make a big impact on our success. But we are a band that, like, first and foremost, it's just the 3 of us. Like, we align in our values. And so, we know that we can make decisions like, we're not going to roll out on Spotify, or we're going to get on stage and talk about the things that need to be talked about in our community, before our show begins. Like, that's something else that's beautiful, is even though the music to this point has been very kind of just, personal and like kind of small in scope, but meaningful, we as people just like care a lot about the world and the community around us. And like, if you happen to be a Spotify user, you can just go find our stuff on Bandcamp. But that's one little thing where it's like, we're hard to find. Onion is not a great SEO name. In the Ground will also not differentiate you from many Onion searches. However,
For that, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, because
Literally.
the puns are too good. Because Mike, this was like a big point of not even contention, but a big point of discussion when we were trying to decide a band name. And he was like, "I'm not against it. I just want you to know that it will be a nightmare." And I was like, and that's okay. That's really okay with me. Maybe one day we'll be sponsored by The Onion.
but it's nice because there really is a level of like, if you know. Like, if you really, really care, you'll probably find the link. And if not, it doesn't matter. Like, we're not trying to get rich and famous.
Yeah.
We're not trying to play national tours. We're just Onion.
Yeah.
We're just best friends and we make music, If you
Yeah.
find it, awesome.
Yeah.
I've found great success with Onion dash In the Ground. And then on social media, we are Onion the Band. And you can find us. And
Right,
this is
right.
this is the insert. So however many minutes we are into the podcast, you heard it here in this minute and nowhere else.
Onion the band.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm back from peeing, so I don't know if you just were talking about this, but the SEO optimization is part of the goal, I think, in a lot of ways. Obfuscating it is
You nailed
like,
it.
yeah, it's obfuscating it is like almost the most Onion thing we could do.
Yeah, it's like the ease of marketing is so low on the list. It's in the negatives.
Mhm.
But the merch opportunities,
There's
endless.
I'm very, very stoked to kind of see what some of these merch options are going to be, because like I got one for you that you can totally roll with.
Give it to me.
Yes,
So like I don't know if you
Open
guys
my
want to do this,
notes
but
app.
you remember like the foam like stress balls?
Mm-hmm.
oh my
Mhm.
God,
Onion.
yes.
Boom.
Done.
Onion stress
Perfect.
ball, incredible.
That would be amazing. Oh,
I recently watched Spaceballs for the first time in a while the other day, because the trailer and everything's getting close for the trailer to come out for the second one, which
Yeah.
I'm going to forget his name at this point. The great man that created Spaceballs in general. The fact that he's like 99 and still made that movie, ridiculous, amazing. I can't wait to see it. But one of my favorite things, and I brought this up, I've used this mentality throughout this podcast life, is there's that scene in there where they're all about merchandising, putting your name on just anything and everything. I've tried to do. I've done koozies. I got bottle openers, magnets. I wanted to do koozies for 40s.
Hell
Super
yeah.
expensive, But like
Yes.
I'm one of those guys that like if there's something dumb enough and cool enough to put my name on, go with it. And I hope you guys do the same thing.
Thank you, thank you. We're as you would say in the kitchen cooking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, we're underground and poor, so our current plans involve the linoleum block printing setup Mike already owns.
Oh yeah.
So,
That's how we did these bad boys.
yes.
And I think the thing that's so awesome is like there's just it's so easy to understand the vibe of Onion right away. We have like more than one friend who has sent us unsolicited art that is Onion based that they have created for our band to use should we want to.
Yo,
You know,
yes.
and I just think it's so great that like the simplicity of it makes it so memorable, even though it's impossible to find. It's a beautiful paradox.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, it's like all it's going to take is like, we'll take the rubber block press, we'll make a word mark or two that say onion, and then we'll just draw a bunch of different onions and like get those stamped all over the shirts. But it's like, it's so simple. We can just inject ourselves anywhere by simply putting an onion where it should not be.
Hmm.
And then the attention is grabbed. And so, we're just gonna keep up the little mythos that we've got going so far.
Yeah. If I love two things, it's music and a bit.
Mhm.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to seeing, like I said, what this merch possibly could be, what the future holds for that aspect, that layer of the band. Tying
Yes.
back in to kind of go off your guys' point of when you try and search the band on like maybe let's say Google, it is tough to find, but there will come the day where you'll type in Onion the band or Onion in the ground and it's going to come up right away, and I can't wait for that day for you guys.
From your mouth, from your mouth.
Yo.
uh, but yeah, so this later half of this episode, I kind of wanted to talk about the broader scope. We've talked about some of the bands that you guys have gotten to play with in some of your shows and like how they've kind of fit. Most recently, a lot of the Chicago bands that I've kind of sat down with have been more in this like kind of shoegaze to like heavier shoegaze, a little bit of butt rock with Football Head. So not as much like of this indie style that we're kind of hearing from you guys. What's this indie scene like in Chicago that I might not be aware of?
Oh, I think the indie scene is definitely alive and well. It's not as prolific as the Midwest emo scene, but there's some great chill bands like Yin Waster, like yin and yang. Yin Waster drops music constantly. It's just two friends. They're extremely prolific, so chill. They're genuinely, I think, could be considered the closest thing to like, a one-to-one inspiration or like blueprint for like Onion. The way that I started making music was based off of how much I enjoyed the like simple, chill human music that Yin Waster makes. And Yin Waster is kind of like one of those incestuous member sharing bands with Friendly Faces, who we also play with. Our friend Nikki Minerva, who is now
Yeah,
leading
Nikki.
a band called Santa All. Um, I mean, there's just oh my God, like Dia Jane. There's a lot of great like power pop, like kind of indie that we've gotten the chance to play on board with as well.
Mhm.
Is it Dog Bod?
Yes.
Dog Bod,
Oh,
another
Dogbot is
great band.
awesome. Yeah.
There really is. It's like it's
Yeah.
kind of it's not as hyped up because I just don't think it's as like Instagram and Twitter active, but
Yeah.
there is a lovely, healthy little indie scene, and it's just like
Yeah.
full of this great, like, chill soulfulness. So
And
lots
they're
of reps will
not,
send you.
yeah, and they're not based out of Chicago, but I would like just throw one more into that loop that Chrysalis out of Nashville. They played in Chicago a couple of times, and we had the privilege of seeing them. And I would put them in a personal inspiration for myself.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Yeah, and just generally a personally connected band to the Onion experience because I was also at those Chrysalis shows and they were fucking mind-blowing and
Oh my God.
incredible.
We've
And
all
they threw out the most beautiful harmonies and the chillest vibes in these basement
Like
shows where
brought
people
out
were
interesting instruments, not a mandolin, but a
exactly.
banjo.
And they did also rock the cajon,
Yeah.
I
the
don't know about
cajon
y'all, but
player.
I cried at both
Oh
Chrysalis
yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Just like weeping.
And Chrysalis was playing in our drummer Ryan's basement, like while we were like all forging that whole scene together. So yeah, it Chrysalis feels like deeply personal to Onion in a lot of ways that they probably have no idea of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just
It's one of those
we're
things that's
just
like,
big fans glazing from afar.
it's like, you took everything from me. I don't even know who you are. Oh,
Now, this is another question I usually try and ask if I remember, basically, when I'm sitting down with other people. I know I've asked a decent amount of Chicago bands this, but I always like to get different takes. Let's say I'm in Chicago for a night or two, and there's shows going on at all the venues. Let's say I can see my favorite band at whatever venue I want to go to. What are, in your guys' opinions, some of the go-to venues that I should be checking out if I'm going to town?
Everyone say it together on three. 1, 2, 3, book
book
club.
club.
Yeah,
Actually very true.
that's the one.
If there is a single one, book club is just doing incredible things. I mean, they were a DIY venue, just like, doing it illegally, selling under the table beers as you do. It's okay. It's okay. It's statute of limitations.
Yeah,
or
I was
whatever.
about to say
That's
yeah.
fair.
They
They're
were
doing the straight and narrow now.
a proper DIY band. And they took, they had an enormous community, a great staff who just like collectively worked to keep the whole thing running. And they took off about a year, got like investors and a lot of great advice, and they took over the old Elbow Room in Chicago and reopened it as a music venue and bar. And I mean, they are just the pride and joy of the Chicago DIY scene because like Book Club was like one of the DIY venues straight up in the city just for how
And
good
they
they did
just
it.
persisted and persisted, and then like were able to like push through that like glass ceiling and make themselves into a legitimate venue. And I follow them pretty closely on Instagram, and they announced that their next big step is they want to turn the top 2 floors of their building into Airbnb spaces for the touring bands that are coming through, so they have an affordable spot to stay. So, like, I don't know, just big things coming out of that
Oh yeah.
venue. We love them very much.
And they do tons of cool shit. They have open mics where they will record like band sets and like a lucky band will get like
Their raw audio.
well, no, I think they
Or
give the raw audio to everybody, but I'm pretty sure a lucky band gets drawn to play their full
Yeah, a
set at
show.
like a prime time slot.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And they're doing a lot of cool stuff to just like promote small bands and make sure that local music is alive and well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's one place that like we absolutely have to shout out just because of how important they are to the local scene.
Yeah. Shubas is
Talia,
fun.
I was gonna say Shuba's, Beat Kitchen, Talia Hall are all fantastic, fantastic places
Mm.
to see. Like you're like sub national or like maybe just barely national headliners. Matt and I saw a show at Metro. Metro is a great place to see a gig. That's definitely gonna be like more your like
Mainstream.
Ticketmaster prices and shit like that.
Yeah. But it's a
Um,
smaller room. It's a lot of fun there, yeah.
but yeah, there's God, book club is just so incredible at what they do and just
Mhm.
revolutionary for the scene. It's like everyone's just wants to keep watching them succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is
And
the first time I've heard book club in my recent
Oh,
uh,
hell yeah.
touchings with Chicago bands. So that's nice to hear a new one, but also to hear like all the extra stuff that they're doing to kind of support the scene. Because like
Hmm.
it's one thing to be a solid venue that's putting on shows, but it's another thing to have a tie-in with the local scene that you're trying to still build it up and kind of be that good spot. Like we've seen so many venues kind of fall to this whole Ticketmaster conglomerate, which is just a bummer.
Yeah.
Like all the like here in Minneapolis, like the bar venues, most of them are all affiliated with that in some shape of form. So it's kind of just like you're paying a little bit extra. Who's really getting the funds for that? Like, is it really
Yeah.
worth it? But to see like the DIY spots kind of thrive in this era have been really nice because they're running tickets themselves. They're supporting the scene in the best way that they can, keeping ticket prices affordable, and they're just there to support in any way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the thing that's so nice is like there's just it's easy to feel gate kept in a city that is so like like Chicago has enough going on that like if you're an under 21 band, the number of places you can play is so low right off the bat. Especially because there are great DIY venues like the old My Place Ohio, like the old
Mhm.
Susan's Apple Hole that just get shut down, like the old Humble
Backyard
Jungle,
606.
Backyard 606. They're kind of around, but they're really just they're booking for like real venues. And it's like you're always kind of bleeding venues against
Yeah.
the cops
The
essentially.
attrition rate is high. Yeah.
And so what book club is doing, particularly with their open mic and just like the way they're making that barrier to entry so much lower, and they're being like, we will platform bands that haven't played here before. Like we will platform, under 21 bands and give them show slots on the weekend, It's like it's and sometimes there's like an evening show and like a late night show because they're they're having an all ages show and they're still going to make their money. But the fact that they're even letting an all ages show happen is so
Yeah.
rare in the city.
Mhm.
So yeah, just
And
love
they
that.
have the benefit that they have their bar upstairs that's separate from the music venue.
Mm.
So, like, they can afford that, like, flexibility of having all ages shows, which is really nice.
Well, it's a cool space too. They they have projections of the show downstairs on a giant LED screen on the wall, and you can hear the show happening. But it's also like they got board games and weird. You can learn Japanese from a book. You
Yeah, I was
know,
gonna say they got like textbooks and shit as well. It's a great third space. It's like a
yeah,
Yeah.
shining bastion against the things Chicago's losing.
yeah.
Well, there you heard it. If anyone's going through Chicago and happens to see a show going on at book club, definitely hit it up. If you're a local band and you haven't heard of book club in your Chicago area, maybe hit them up. See about getting a show.
Definitely.
I'm going to take a turn to left field in this question. Hopefully, y'all enjoy it. If not, then I thought about this one all day, and it's going to fall flat in space. No, no
No
pressure.
pressure.
Yeah. Obviously, y'all are Onion the band. What is the best way to eat an onion?
Oh,
Oh my
the
God.
best way to eat an
Dude.
onion.
And I
Dude.
mean, you can
Raw,
put it as a
like a
topping on
man.
something.
No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
you're a freak.
I'm kidding. Sauteed with butter. That's my final answer.
Well, there's two things that come to mind for me. One is pretty right there. It's pierogies. Pierogies, you cook the pierogies in butter with onions that are raw.
Hmm.
You saute them at the same time, and the onions get kind of translucent and a little bit soft. And then the pierogies, cook up and get a tiny little bit of color in that butter, and that shit's prime. The
Yeah,
other
I was
way,
gonna say.
oh,
No,
sorry.
please. You had a second one ready, actually. Go
Yeah,
in there.
it was just because I started messing around with this recently is um like Oklahoma onion burgers, like smash burgers.
Mm.
So you like mandolin onions as thin as you can, and then you like take like a little like 3 ounce ball of beef and you put a giant pile of really thin onions on top of it, and you smash that into a super hot griddle, and it immediately starts like charring up. And after like 30 to 60 seconds, you flip it, and then you let that cook for like another minute or two, and all those onions like cook up in the beef fat, and it gets like a Maillard reaction. You throw a slice of cheese on there, and you maybe do two patties for a sandwich since it's a little 3 ounce patty, and it's oh my God, it's like the best fucking smash burger.
Listen, that was so passionate and I respect it, but a bloomin' onion with ranch.
Ooh.
And that is my final answer. But I think it's beautiful we all have our own.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are all
There's-
solid answers.
There's no wrong way to eat an onion. How about that?
Yo, we had some French onions. We had a friend who threw a party that was the quote unquote Super Bowl because like we're all like not really tapped into the NFL. So instead of watching the Super Bowl, everybody cooked their own soup and we all brought soup. And then they had like the 6 muffin tin, like little aluminum, like 20
The
stack.
aluminum foil muffin tins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so each of us got a little muffin tin, and we each like filled each of them with a ladle of soup, and we tried all the soups that everyone brought, and we rated them. And the one that won our Super Bowl was a French onion soup, and it was fucking bomb. It was so
was.
good.
It was the best soup.
Now, is there a hierarchy to onions?
Oh,
I know we got the
man.
white onion, we got the red onion, we got shallots that are kind of onions, but
Right.
not really.
But like they count. In my heart, they count. Any onion's an onion. I would say a chive is still an onion.
I kind of
Well,
agree.
I get the thing is, I love so many onions. The question really becomes like, are there any onions we're kicking down? We're kicking down to the bottom.
I think the classic white onion. It's
Nah,
pretty.
I like
She's-
white onion.
She's pretty, but what is she good for other than
I-
heartburn?
Personally, I think my least favorite onion is the Vidalia.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah, like a sweet. I'm not here for sweet in my onion. Like I really
Sweet
like.
onion's
believe-
fine. Toss out the brown onion. I kind of agree that a white onion, most of the things that it does could be done better by like a well-prepared red onion.
Or like just like a classic yellow onion.
Maybe we put yellow high, Vidalia low.
Yeah.
I like shallots.
Green onions extremely high. Goes
Yeah.
into
Versatile.
everything. Has a cookable part, a raw eatable
Unfortunately, does rot in my fridge 9 times out of 10. But
part.
that's
Yeah.
user
Whoa.
error.
And well, to be clear, like just to be super clear, I fucking love onions. Outside of the fact that I'm in this band, onions are top tier food. Vidalia onion, despite being my least favorite, is still A tier food.
Mhm.
Just most of the other onions hit S tier for me.
I also feel like-
shallot is like S plus.
Yeah. I would say that final answer, my favorite onion for its versatility would be the red onion.
You didn't expect this to be so hard hitting, but we're divided.
I mean, I kind of did. So I was really, this is what I was kind of hoping for all day.
Yes, dude.
And I also, like, in the same aspect, kind of did y'all a favor because when you guys go to do the next interview, hopefully they listen to this and they're like, we can't ask those hard hitting onion questions.
It's already been answered.
You know,
Dude, I think yours
Do
is the
better,
best
Sean
interview show
Evans.
out there. They're not gonna get there.
I don't know. Sean would take that old question, twist it, and then he'd be like, all right, what's the worst aspect of the Vidalia onion?
Right.
And then, and then you'd be like, okay, but it would be like right after you eat the bomb, and then you have to answer
Dude,
that question.
it's gonna
It would be
it's gonna
like, give me your
12
Mount
years from
Rushmore
now.
of the 5 worst onion dishes. And you're
5
like,
worst
I can't,
onions and
I
why
can't
is
do
Vidalia
it.
on it. Listen, Anna had a brush with greatness, and it was breathed
met Sean
the
Evans in
same
person.
air as
I
Sean
actually did
Evans.
meet Sean Evans in person.
Took his
and
ID.
I was so starstruck that I didn't say anything. I didn't let on that I knew who he was. But the moment he walked away, I like literally called Matt on the phone sobbing. He was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Sean Evans just came into my work."
And I was like, what'd you
She's
say
such
to
a
him?
fangirl.
And she said,
She said
Nothing.
nothing. I said nothing.
Honestly,
My brain-
same, but also very jealous.
Yes, it was
I love that.
my brush with fame. I'm now seeking a Hot Ones interview purely so I can tell that story.
My version of this is so lame. Oh my God, Anna, you have to somehow. Never mind. There's no way.
I'm banking on
Do you
you,
remember
baby.
what he bought?
No.
Because that would be the incredible reversal. It's like he
I'm
asks you some
almost
crazy
positive that I
personal
do.
question, and you're like, "Yeah," and your
We're
favorite
not going to dock
strain.
Sean Evans in this interview.
Right,
She's
but
got a
I'm
copy of the
almost
receipt in
I'm
her
almost
drawer.
positive I do know exactly what he bought. I remember this pretty clearly.
I know,
Dude,
because I
let's
think I roasted
go.
him. Anyway, we can move on.
We are have to get on Hot Ones just for that reversal one day. Oh, so good.
May his digestive tract be okay today.
Truly.
Another
What's
person I think about along with Sufjan Stevens. I'm like, I hope Sufjan's okay, and I hope Sean has a good shit.
What's wild about that show is like they'll film some of those episodes at like 9 or 10 in the morning. It's like that's the first thing you're eating is
Dude.
a row of hot wings
Yeah.
and
You
just
know?
fucking up your stomach for the rest
Yeah,
of the
the
day.
last 4 of which are just hotter than they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some people are just capital B built different.
Lord.
Man, shout out Sean Evans.
Real.
Honestly,
Welcome on the podcast anytime.
Dude, I would sit here and not say anything. I would just be like, "What the fuck's going on right now?"
I didn't
I
know you
heard
were
there's
the
a
band,
special
Sean.
guest
That's
for your
crazy.
300th episode.
Dude, yeah, I don't know what I would do if like, because like Mike, I was telling these guys earlier is for the episode 300, which is coming up very shortly. Two buddies are going to kind of flip the script and interview me, but and
Nice.
they've kind of been planning it, and I'll see what happens when I go to hit start on the episode when we do it. But if they were to somehow just like I start it and like Sean Evans pops up and they're like, "Hey, your friends told me to do this," I'd be like, there's no way we can." It'd be like meeting
Googling
Narnor.
how
I can't do it.
expensive the
Right.
cameo would be.
yo, it's okay if this is confidential information, but who's interviewing you for the 300th? Is it anyone we would know?
No, I don't think you guys would know them. It's two dudes that I went to high school with. They were in a band called Exit Emergency, based out of Iowa. They're like
Sick.
a pop punk band, but just two very long time friends that have spent supporting everything. Brian was actually, if you go back and listen to episode 1, which I do not recommend, he was actually my co-host because we were supposed to do this together, and then he moved like an hour away, but rule hour away, so it feels like forever.
It feels like longer. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Real.
I just kind of rolled with it, and here we are. I think I told Anna like this is episode 298.
Yeah.
So it's
Dude.
just crazy.
How cool! I mean, who
So
better than
exciting.
a good friend?
Yeah. It should
Listen,
be
if
a good
nothing
time,
else,
but
they should show up in a bald cap.
I'll send them the note. We'll see what happens.
Been such a blast.
Yeah, this has been a great time. I'm very
yeah.
stoked that got to add Onion to the list.
Yeah.
Hopefully one of these days we'll get to see the Onion World Tour. Stop by Minneapolis. I think
Oh
it'll
my
be a
God.
good
Dude,
time.
please.
You'll be the first person
Genuine.
we hit up if we're in the area, genuinely.
I have a
yeah.
genuine soft spot for Minneapolis. I've only been there once, and I was like 8 years old. But I just like I have a soft spot. Number one, because I traveled there when I was a kid, and then number two, because I was a choir kid, like I said, and throughout college and shit, and like a huge part of the choral community it comes out of Minneapolis, and it's like actually it's a big part of like the like modern choir composing community. A lot of the modern people who like compose like neoclassical choral music
Hmm.
are based out of Minneapolis.
That is crazy. I had no idea.
hmm And I like there's a guy named Jake Runestad who some of my friends love him and some of my friends hate him because they have to sing his music. He writes crazy, insane shit, and it's really cool. And like he like writes like shit in made up languages with like insane time signatures and these crazy polyrhythms built in, and you're like
Math
doing
choir.
yeah, in a sense, parts of it, yeah.
Matt, I can see where you would love that, and someone
Yeah.
like me would be like, I would rather die. You just said math.
Exactly.
You just said math choir, and I was like, you just made choir not fun?
Can't be doing math.
I don't
But
can't read.
dog,
Anyway.
if the day that Onion comes to Minneapolis, you'll be the first to know, and I will be so hype. I'm ready.
Hell yeah. No, yeah. It'll be a good time. We'll have some beers. Uh, Minneapolis has been a great city. The thing I love about it is while it's such I mean, Minneapolis itself is not that big. Obviously we have St. Paul making up the Twin Cities, but like the metro is nothing crazy. Like it just feels like a big small town, which is sick. And then it's nice that we have such a great music scene, so many good venues, so many monumental bands have come out of Minneapolis. Obviously, Prince for one, Ocean City. We got Dillinger Four, just to name a few. But like, it's such a good time. And when you guys come up here, you'll have a great time
Hell
in
yeah.
Minneapolis.
Oh, I can't wait.
So, I like to end off these episodes on kind of a high note. Not to say that we're not already having a good time or not high already. Spun around.
This is
on
number
this one.
5.
But my final question to the three of you is, and this might be a loaded question for some of you, is from your time in Onion, what has been some of the favorite moments you've gotten to experience so far?
Oh man.
Okay, I'm going Cheese City, you guys, and you'll have to
Do it.
forgive me.
Do it.
Playing music with my two best friends. Like, it's just, that is the best part every time, all the time. Like, I just look to my left and my right, and I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no one else I would rather do that with.
The shared eye contact almost every show where we're just having a good time is really nice. That part is cool.
Oh,
My f-
I think my favorite thing about Onion is genuinely like it's kind of a two-parter. One is whenever people come up and they'll gravitate to Matt or Anna and they'll start talking about like the mandolin or the harmonies and how great Anna's voice is. And I am I'm so ecstatic to just like kind of just be in the second row watching those scenes happen just because these two are like very incredible creative minds who I like trust a lot and love a lot. And the fact that I got to start doing what I was doing with Antolene before this, it just means a lot to me to get to kind of like third person those interactions where like someone's coming up to one of them and being like, this is so special and new. Like, I can't believe it. And I'm like, yeah, you are a performer. Like, you're an original musician. It's like you're in a band, you know? And I think that's what it is like these two are so talented. And so I lucked my way into where I am in the Chicago music scene. I have such immensely talented bandmates, and I happened to like step into the last step of all these things. And Onion is the thing where it's like paradoxically, I guess I have the most to do with its like engine moving,
Mhm.
but I feel like the least in control of its outcomes and just like a proud like just like a proud friend, just like a proud
Mhm.
observer of what's going on. And it's just awesome that we get to do this and like yeah, seeing the praise and being just like knowing that what we're doing is different. It doesn't have to be incredibly like skilled or like dripping talent. It's just like different and full of our genuine real feelings.
Yeah.
And people responding to that and especially sharing it with Anna and Matt is so cool.
yeah.
You got me crying in the club, fam.
Ooh, wimp.
Dude,
Ooh, ooh.
yeah. I would say my favorite part, the thing that I'm most grateful for is wow, Anna doesn't give a fuck.
No,
Doesn't even want to know.
I can still hear you. Cleo's just screaming.
Um, no, it's funny because I'm giving a bullshit answer, but
Oh.
my favorite thing, honestly, like it's trivial, but it is very fun for me. all three, four of us, if we're rehearsing with Ryan, will show up to rehearsal with a different flavored THC vape on our little battery, and we'll pass them around in a circle like each of them's a different joint. We'll all terp blend. And just like like in between songs at our rehearsals will sometimes become 10 to 20 minute like nonsense gibberish fests, and Ryan will just start drumming a song that doesn't exist, and we'll play a song that doesn't exist for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden Anna's like, "Hey," or Mike's like, "I gotta work soon," or whatever. Like,
But truly, like the fact that it's the first tenant before everything else. The first tenant is that we're fucking chilling.
Yeah.
Like if we're not relaxed and having a good time, then we've lost the formula entirely.
Yeah.
And so you'll have the bands who are like, come on, man, like you got to show up on time. Like you can't keep drinking through practice. Like you can hardly play your solos by the end. We're like, you guys don't look high enough. You're looking a little too
You're looking a little
involved,
too serious.
a little
Yeah.
too stressed, a little too tense. And like literally that's what it is. It's like we're the first rule of Onion is like this is going to be fun.
it's
And if it's not fun, we're going to shelve it until life is less crazy, or we're going to change our approach. But it's
Mhm.
got to be stress relieving and life giving
Yeah.
because too
Right.
many things aren't. You
Yeah.
know?
Onion rehearsals have devolved into board game nights.
Oh my God. Yeah. We've showed up
And-
with instruments and not unpacked them before.
Yeah. We've been like, vibe's not right.
And at the same
Unpack
time,
Ascension.
Mike has come over with the sole intent of us taking in some form of media, and then we accidentally write a song.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. Yeah, there's no pinning it down. It just happens.
When you get the right people together, it's like it just is, it is beautifully organic and just kind of like generative on its own.
Mhm.
And that's what Onion has been about so much. And it's like it's gonna be kind of crazy when I don't know, when we like write a song that just like is more thought than like, man, let's like loop a chord and like, I mean,
I'm telling you, it's gonna
things
keep
are
getting
so
better.
like we're
We've
gonna
got-
write a bridge one day and it's gonna be fucking crazy. But like right now we got like 2 minute 45 seconds and we're chilling.
We've got 5 months roughly until the Onion Art Retreat that we're currently planning. October is when we had theoretically put it out that we're trying to get all the homies to a singular location for about a week that is reclusive and full of nature, and hopefully we write some songs. Maybe we just hang out and get goofy, but the goal
Almost
is to make
certainly.
some art.
Yeah.
And I feel like that'll be a moment where we do take some things seriously. Not even
I'm-
necessarily too seriously, and probably whilst quite intoxicated, but I think
Mhm.
we'll get some shit down.
But yeah, I'm certain you won't have to wait as long before the next Onion release.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what. I was trying to think of a good pun again, but I didn't want to use layer again because that one doesn't. We've used it, and I don't feel like it. I don't know what the next metamorphosis is of an onion.
Yeah.
So there really isn't one. But the next iteration, I guess, of what.
What
the four
sprouts
together.
next?
Ooh, there we go. Got it.
I was like, tick, 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 tick.
Well, we do have an onion on our counter right now we just moved here, which is why all the walls behind us
Empty.
are currently barren minus a couple instruments. And the Onion EP, shout out Mickey Masters real quick. Just gonna grab it.
Yeah, the album art is a real painting one of our friends sent us, and that is it.
Mickey's my friend from high school, and I commissioned them to paint this, and it's such a beautiful piece of art. But it's the only piece of art we have out because we just moved in here. So, shit has been wild.
But we have an onion sprouting on the counter.
Exactly. We brought this onion from our old apartment. We've had it for like 3 months or 3 weeks, not months. Jesus. We've had it for like 3 weeks, and it has like a massive green sprout coming out the top. And I'm like, actually, that's kind of artful, and we need to take some pictures with it.
That's our newborn.
Right.
Well, hell yeah! Like I said, I'm stoked to see what sprouts next. Everyone, if you haven't already, please listen to In the Ground. If anyone's looking for, obviously there's no merch yet, but if they're looking for future merch, music, and Onion in general, where can they find it?
We're the most active on Instagram, so you can catch us there, Onion the Band. We have a website in development. Keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah. Whenever we have a website out, it will be posted all
That
over
will
that
be-
Instagram.
Yeah, that will be the best
Um,
place to find things, but Instagram's the best spot for now.
But also, part of that website is that we are launching slash kind of in the pilot stages of Onion the Studio as well as Onion the Band. Matt and I both have students. Um, you know, we're kind of offering like voice, guitar, songwriting, Logic Pro, bass guitar. But like right now, I have like a mostly screaming student who's like making progress on Uncleans. Matt has a student who he's teaching like just like Logic Pro for like songwriting and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So we want to like give back to the community how we can. And like right now, it feels like the way like the skill that we have is like taking this kind of like, this shameless confidence and just like nugget of self-belief that you can really grow into, a true musical hobby or like musical just love. And like it's really not as intimidating or as gate kept as people think it is. And so we're just kind of hoping to lower the barrier to entry for some of the people around us who have like asked us like, I wanted to sing or I wanted to scream or like I want to songwrite. And just kind of breaking that down and making it like unpretentious and just kind of like accessible and kind of basically just showing people how to do what we did, which is just like find a couple people, believe in your ability, don't worry about getting embarrassed or being wrong, and you can grow so quickly just by getting over those mental
Yeah.
hurdles first.
Yeah. Well, so depending where you find this episode, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, or you watch the YouTube version, you get to see all of their lovely faces like I did tonight. Make sure you check the hyperlinks down below and follow them on all the socials. And then to bounce off of what Mike said, I think there's a couple posts currently on the Instagram too that kind of talk about some of those teaching lessons. So you can reach them through Instagram for those if you're in the Chicagoland area. Or do you guys do those also remote? So if anyone wanted to do it, or
Yep.
is it just okay?
If we need, yeah, if it works for them, absolutely. But we also do have in-person like spaces.
Both, yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Well, one last big thank you to Michael, Anna, and Matt for taking the time out of your Saturday to sit down with me and talk about your band.
Thank you so
Yo,
much for
thanks
having
to
us
you.
on.
Of course. Everyone, be sure to listen to In the Ground, follow Onion, and I'll catch everyone on the next episode.
Sounds great. Peace.
Take care.